in the between time, that time when sun waves goodbye to the world and moon begins her ascent, there was always a call, a melodic movement of tone that called out from the wooded areas, from the bushes, the trees, even the grouping of flowers. And people would raise their heads hearing that call and look at one another, and none would quite recognize it. And even today, when there are apps to download to tell you, no one ever pulled up the app. No one ever truly wanted to identify the call. And yet, everyone listened. Of course, things like that become legendary in areas. And so when tourists came to the area, everyone suggested that they go out near that wooded area with the trees and the flowers and the bushes right as the sun would set and the moon would begin its rise. And that they should listen and see if they could identify that call that came from the woods, from the depths. And so many did. And when they could not identify, the hunters came. And some hunted with a certain elegance in the fact that they did not shoot what they could not see. And some hunters were so entranced with the call that they never picked up a weapon again. Instead, they would come and sit for hours with their camera, trying to capture an image of where that call was coming from, who made that call. And still, the hunters came. There was one much more determined than all the rest. She came in the early morning, she came at midday, she came at sunset, and she came in the dark of the night. And always she would leave with this promise, I will be back and I will find you. And people who heard her would say there was almost like a laughter in the voice of that call after she left. Not malicious, but almost teasing, like an old friend. And people, they had compassion for that woman. They would bring her food and they would invite her to stay the night, but she was adamant to keep her post on the edge of those woods near the bushes and just beyond the flowers, that she might identify and capture the bird that was calling. She knew it was a bird, or well, she thought it was a bird, and the tone of it would seem to confirm that. But still, she did not find the bird. And others came, and they exchanged stories from how people had told them about the sound and seeing or hearing it right as the sun dropped from the sky and the moon began its ascent. And they would have discussions. Do you think that that is saying goodbye to the sun or hello to the moon? Goodbye to the day or hello to the night? And then others would say, well, on the other side of the world, it is the opposite. So how do we identify that? Yes, but we're talking about where we are, another would say. And they would reason with one another. And one day, a little boy was sitting with his parents as they waited to hear the sound. And people were reasoning with one another. And the little boy said, hey, what if the call is a call for anyone who hears it? What about that? There was absolute silence for a moment. And then the call came. And it was early. It was before the sun said goodbye and the moon began its ascent. And it came again. And the little boy pointed as if he could see from where that call came and said, "See, there it is. The sun is still up in the sky and the moon isn't there yet. The call is calling." And the mother bent low and said, "Well, baby, who is the call calling?" "Did you hear it?" he asked. And she smiled and nodded. "Then it's calling you, Mama. It's calling me. It's calling everyone who heard it." And just then, the hunter who never gave up came into the circle of people, and she heard the boy's words. "It won't call to me," she said. And the little boy reached out and took her hand. "It calls to you most of all. It calls to you most of all. You have been here more than anyone else. So it calls to you most of all." And the woman put down her rifle. She took off her bow and arrow. And she sat down next to the boy. "How," she asked, "how did you become so wise?" "I listened," said the boy. "The call was for me too." What will call you today?